I got my power pole down, stuck in the mud in the bottom of the lake, sitting so still in the wind and the waves, could even be a hurricane.
Hey, welcome back to Downtime Live. We are live in the studio with FLW Pro Tour angler Chad Grigsby, not to be confused with Shaw Grigsby. No relation.
No.
And so you're from Minnesota. You're down here ready to fish the
Harris chain.
Harris chain.
Yep.
And so you can't wait to get out there on the lake because you're from Minnesota and you have been essentially freezing and drinking beer for the last 4 months, right?
Well, I would do that whether it's freezing or not, but you have to do it inside. So when you're down here, you can cook out and hang out, but we're stuck inside. And actually, when I flew in the other day, it was 10 below. And when I landed, my mom picked me up and it was 85 degrees. So it was about roughly a 80 or 95 degree temperature change from where I was to here. So pretty nice to be out and ready to get on the water, open water, I should say, because you can go on the water where I'm at. It's just the water's hard. You have to walk on it or drive on it.
So for our northern friends out there, what are some things you can do besides drink beer that, can help you keep your gear in shape, keep you from going surfing, kind of prepare you mentally for the upcoming season?
Well, a lot of the stuff I do, we fish in the tour. I sell my boat every year and get a new boat. So obviously you have to take all your gear out of your boat, and I keep it, my whole basement, my wife we've had an agreement that that's my area. She wanted to finish the basement. Well, I need area to work, so I put all the stuff, it's all in our plain old boxes and stuff, but I'll bring it all in, and then I have a chance to go through everything and change hooks, and, I go through everything and reorganize and get everything during a tournament, you may, you're biting something off and you're throwing it down here, and the next thing you know, 2-3 tournaments in, there's just stuff scattered everywhere. Well, I get a month or two to kind of get all that stuff organized and get it back in the right compartments and get everything labeled right, and I pack it all in totes, put it in my truck, head down south, get my new boat, and then organize everything like that. But that's what I do when I'm at home, get my rods ready, get my reels ready, just, trying to keep, excited about fishing, which I am. I'm ready to go, but and get all that stuff lined up so I'm prepared for the whole season.
Now, there's quite a bit of difference between how you fish up north, and especially in the colder weather, and then coming down here to Florida. How do you kind of transition between those two, essentially two different styles of fishing?
Well, it's, a bass is a bass, and up in the summertime, it's 85, 90 degrees, and the grass grows. It just grows quicker and dies quicker. But it's still their ambush points, their turns, their points, there's docks, it's all relative. It's just a little different down here because the growing season is year-round. You have a little bit of winter, but it's not extreme like we have. So it's still a bass is a bass, and they're a predator. They always ambush what they're eating, and you just got to figure out. It's a little bit different style, but I don't look at it that way. When every lake is different. So even on tour, we'll go to smallmouth lakes, we'll go to largemouth lakes, we'll go to reservoirs, highland reservoirs, and then you go to Florida where there are a lot of natural lakes, and that's where I'm from. I'm from Michigan originally, but Minnesota has the same thing. They're all natural lakes, so Florida fits into a lot of my fishing styles because there's not, it's not the Tennessee River where it's all, man-made, and there's, contours, and there's not much. You got to read grass, and you got to figure out, what they're biting on. Once you figure those couple things out, it's pretty easy.
Okay. Now, have you had a chance to scope out the Harris chain? What kind of style are you going to be employing when you're fishing a lake like that?
Well, there's an off limit, so we can't start until 4 days before the event. We get 3 days, and then we have a day off for our meeting. So I haven't been on it in 2 years. We didn't go last year, but we went the year before. And I know there's a lot of grass in Harris, and I've heard the research that I did before the cutoff that all the grass in Harris is basically gone, and it's changed a lot, but that's why I don't really pay attention to what happened 2 years ago, because every lake, even year to year, like when we go to Okeechobee, that always changed every year. You may have a hurricane go through, or you may have, high water or low water. So just because I caught them at this place last year, I just go into every event with an open mind. So I just try not to get caught up in, I did this last year, so it's going to work again, because it never does. And it doesn't matter where they won, because it's probably not going to happen there again. So as far as finding out what's going on, I won't know until Sunday when we put the boat on the water, and that's a lot of the fun of fishing tournaments, and is figuring it out. and putting all the pieces together to try to set yourself up to win.
How important is it to be flexible? I know a lot of guys, especially on the tour, you kind of get tied into, you need this bait for these conditions. It sounds like, you like to experiment a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a lot of when I first started fishing, and this was my 18th year, I've been doing this a long time, but I thought he was an old timer then, and he's still fishing to this day. I'm not gonna say his name, but he told me one time, he goes, when you fish at this level, you can't be good at one thing. You have to be good at everything. And there's some guys that are like, oh, he caught him, so he's a flipper, so he caught him flipping. And then you go to a lake, a smallmouth lake, and he doesn't do any good. Well, you got to be able to do everything at least okay. You don't have to be great at everything, but you have to be good at everything. So it's consistency is basically what keeps you going. Because if you only have one good tournament a year, it's not going to work. You got to be good at everything. And I kind of took that to heart, and that's kind of what I do. I like to be able to flip or be able to throw a jerkbait or be able to, open water fish or structure fish or, it's just, I like catching fish. So I'm going to do whatever technique it takes to catch fish. So.
Well, there you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, we're going to do this whenever someone pops in and just wants to talk fishing. Thank you, Chad, for stopping by.
I might pop in again next week.
Absolutely. Come in. Let us know how you did. Give us the inside scoop on that.
Hopefully I'll bring a big old trophy in.
Look at that. We like trophies around here because it's something we do very well at Powerful.
Yeah.
Did you see our trophy collection out there?
I did.
All right. So until next time, how do you spend your downtime?